Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the webinar. So, 5 steps to ultimate strength and your ultimate body. So, over the next 35 minutes or so, I really hope you guys take away some very valuable information that you can use practically. So, what you might want to do is actually go grab a bit of paper and a pen because you might want to take some notes along the way. But what we'll do now is we'll actually try to get straight away into it so we don't waste any time. So, who is this webinar for? This is for anyone, males and females, who are currently in a gym who have an interest of unlocking their true strength. This is for anyone who is looking to be 110% confident in what they're doing. This is for those who have an interest of knowing what exactly to do and why they're doing it. So basically creating some purpose and direction within training. So over the next 35 minutes, I want to give you guys the 5 key steps that I believe are fundamental for long-term success. I want to show you how you can eliminate some common fads within the fitness industry, and there's a lot out there. I want to show you how you can do more by doing less and getting all the results. So I want to show you how you can work smarter opposed to having to work harder. So my promise to you is a step-by-step strategy to getting ultimate strength and along the way, the ultimate body. So we want to make it as simple as possible. So does this sound like you? Do you have some months where you have amazing progress, but you cannot seem to maintain it? Do you feel like nothing's working, even though you're training hard all the time? Are you still unhappy, even though your friends tell you look better? Do you not understand what exactly you're doing or why you're doing it? Do you have purpose or direction in your training? Are you working so hard and not getting the results? Are you busting your ass off every time you go to the gym and not getting a return on your investment? And most of all, in 5 years' time, is this still going to be the same? Have you progressed much in the last 1 year? Have you progressed much in the last 2 or 3 or even 5 years? Very, very important to note down. Because what it comes down to is you haven't been training the way that your body needs and responds. I remember when I first went to the gym years and years ago, and I'd follow a program that my friend did that made real awesome results for him. I'd follow that program to the T, but my progress just wasn't happening the same as him because I hadn't been training the way that my body needs and responds. We haven't built a foundation to build off. This is one of the most important things of continuous progress. Foundation is one of the key aspects towards success. We'll get more into that later on. Our metabolism has no idea where it's at. If we're continuously following different diet all the time, our metabolism has no idea where it's at. If we're doing a keto 1 week, a low carb the next week, a high protein the next week, a very low calorie the next week, then going refeed days, like our metabolism just has no idea what's going on. We have to be consistent and we have to let it know where it's at. But once we figure this out, we'll be able to train a lot less while getting more results. We'll be training smarter and not having to train harder to get results. We'll know exactly why we're doing everything, so there's going to be no more guesswork. You'll continue to see progress by the week and even by the day. And most of all, you'll be more happier and fully confident within yourself. So if there's one thing, well, 2 things that I want you guys to take away from this webinar, is that the long way is always going to be the short way of getting there. Once you take a step back and build a good foundation and work your way up to the top, that ends up being the short way. The short way or the quick fix is always going to be the long way, mostly because that short fix, that quick fix, has to be multiple quick fixes that, might possibly get you there. But even if so, it's going to take a long time to actually get there. And it's going to be a lot of hard work. So this is one of the biggest key points that I want you guys to take away is the long way is the short way. Let me explain that a little bit further with this graph before we go any further. What we have here is the 3 main ways that we actually expend energy each day. So the 3 main ways that we use calories each day. What we have here is one that we all know about, is physical activity. So this accounts for about 32% of calories that we actually burn each day. Over here, we have the thermic effect of feeding. So every time we eat food, we have to use calories to actually digest that food. And this is where things like, protein, when we eat protein, it actually uses more calories to digest than something like carbs or fats. And that's where that concept came in, that if you eat frequent protein meals, that you're going to have a higher metabolism. Just comes down to this aspect here, which is 8% of calories that we burn each day. I mean, over here, this big bad boy right here that accounts for 60% of calories that we burn each day is our resting metabolic rate. This is the one that we want to have focus on. This is what we're using right now when we're sitting down listening to this presentation. That's what I'm using right now when I'm speaking on this presentation. If we can make this one a lot more higher and a lot more efficient, we can burn a lot more by doing less. Means that for this part here, physical activity, we can actually do more things that we actually enjoy, because we do it for the psychological component of just feeling happier and being more like awesome. And this one here does all the work for us. So I was one who did get caught up by trying to always focus on the quick fix. So my old quick fix was drugs. I wanted to feel good from taking drugs. But I soon found out that the long way, is definitely the short way. Because of that short quick fix, I ended up doing 3.1 years in prison for drug sentence. The day I took a step back is the day that I rapidly progressed. The day that I found out that the long way is the short way is the day that I rapidly progressed. So who am I now? Who did I become after I took that step back? I'm now a strength and conditioning coach of many top athletes, including the New Zealand national basketball team, the Breakers. I've trained cyclists and top New Zealand powerlifters. I've been a transformational coach of hundreds of people in New Zealand and Australia. I'm an evidence-based trainer in Auckland, New Zealand. I'm now a drug-free powerlifter and within the top 10 of New Zealand in all weight classes. I'm a life changer, helping people figure out how the long way can become the short way. Very, very, very passionate about this concept here because it works. So let's get right into the 5 key steps. So what we have here in the middle is our success. So our success is our ultimate body and ultimate strength, fully complete happiness and confidence. Once we have all these aspects that we chuck in towards our success, this one here comes a lot quicker. We have foundation, we have volume, we have intensity, we have nutrition, and we have recovery. So let's talk a little bit more in depth about each one of them. We won't make this too long because we'll try just, touch on the surface of everything. We have step 1, foundation. So like I said at the start, we get strong within movements, not exercises itself. So this girl here practicing the squat this way, in her training, she would have done it exactly the same as this way here because she's got strong within that movement pattern. With someone else who has more of a forward lean or is focusing on something else like a hip thrust or a shoulder press or a leg press or whatever the movement might be, if they keep on practicing that movement, they'll get strong in that movement. That's where the foundation comes in. We have to complete what we want to get strong in and continuously practice that, and we will definitely get strong within that movement. So this comes from repetition. So guys, write down what you want to do. What do you want to get strong in? Do this light. Complete, practice that exercise each day, and you will get strong in it. If we're continuously changing what we're doing, if we're changing from these 3 squats here, front squat might be here, a high bar squat here, and a low bar squat here. If we're always changing between these 3 here, our body's not going to necessarily get strong as it would if we just practice, say, this one here, a high bar squat. We'll get strong in high bar squats. If we just practice this one here, low bar squats, we'll get strong in low bar squats. Sure, that all the other ones will still get strong as well, but the ones that we focus on are the ones that are going to rapidly progress. So this comes from repetition. So write down what you want to get strong in, and then complete that by practice, and you will get stronger in it. Step number 2, volume. Once you've figured out how you're going to move, what squat you're going to do, what deadlift you're going to do, or what hip thrust, or whatever the exercise may be, we need to put some volume within that exercise. So this is the burn. This is, the lactic acid feeling. This is just repetition with weight. So putting weight through that movement is going to make the muscles adapt and become back stronger. How can we add more volume into our exercise? We can increase the reps. So we can go from 10 reps to 12 reps. Or we can go from 6 reps to 8 reps if we're previously doing 6 reps. Whatever it may be, even just one more rep than the previous week is increased volume. We can increase the sets. We can go from 2 sets to 3 sets, 3 sets to 4 sets. We don't need as big of a jump as we actually think we need. We can increase the weight while completing the same reps and sets. So that's another awesome way just to increase volume. One thing that we do not want to do is we don't want to have a massive increase in volume in a short period of time. This makes our body not feel safe. We always want to make our body feel safe. This allows change. Every time we, add just enough for our body to change, but while it still feels safe enough, it's going to adapt. It's going to come back stronger, and you're not going to get injured. You're going to progress a lot more quicker this way. Step number 3, intensity. This is where we want to start adding a lot more weight. This is when we want to start lifting heavier within the strength training zone, but not by as much as we think again. 1 kg added a week is 52 kg per year. That's 104 kg in 2 years, 156 in 3 years, and so on. The smallest amounts add up to a lot over a long period of time. If we chuck, say, 156 on straight away, we've got a big risk of, like if I'm pulling this deadlift straight away, a big risk of pulling something, rubbing my back or something, something goes, and then that holds us back for a while, and then we have to start again. It makes more sense to just do a small amount of progress over a longer period of time, and it actually adds up to be quite a lot. One of the biggest things that I love about heavy strength training is heavy weights stimulate anabolic processes within the body. So this makes our muscle tissue, adapt. This makes everything become a lot more stronger. But this comes with risk, like I said before. If we haven't built our foundation, if we haven't put volume within that foundation, we shouldn't be lifting incredibly heavy. We need to go in sequence. Very, very, very important. So what do all of these aspects do? Foundation, volume, and intensity. Well, all 3 of these contribute to this part here. When we put volume within the muscles and they adapt and we get more lean muscle tissue within our body, we get a higher metabolic rate. So we burn a lot more by doing a lot less. The coolest part is that we get to focus on all 3 of these things here. We get to do physical activity by doing the work itself. And then we get to reap the benefits of a higher metabolic rate because we're working on the important things. So one of the biggest components of increasing these things is strength. If we get stronger, we can complete more volume. We can do more weight at 10 reps, opposed to if we're weaker, we have to do less weight at 10 reps and get less adaptations. We can get better at completing volume. We can easily add more sets of reps if we're stronger, if we've increased our strength. And if we have a good foundation, our body will always feel safe to change. So how do we get strong? Well, if you're like me, you do not necessarily like cardio. We don't have to do as much cardio to get lean as what the media puts out to be. But, definitely keep cardio in there if you like it. But it's not a requirement to stay lean. Very, very, very important. So we've got 3 key ways that we actually get strong. We've got muscular, which is the burn, which is volume. We've got neuromuscular, which is the heavy, which is intensity. And we've got mechanical, which is a technique, which is a foundation. So foundation, volume, and intensity equals strength, equals more volume, equals a higher metabolism. So the proof is in the pudding. What we have here is one of my good friends, Afia. So she went from a 115 kg deadlift after training for over a year to over 145 kg deadlift. She focused on mechanical aspects. She focused on technique. She took the step back. She put volume within that technique. She did repetition. She had the burn. She got sore muscles. She increased the weight, so she focused on the neurological component. And what happened was she became the national champion of 2018 in New Zealand. In less than 2 years of competing in powerlifting, she became a national champion. Taking a step back gives massive benefits. For the foundations, if we get this wrong, we're going to continuously be starting over. We're going to be going from program to program. Grabbing our programs from our friends and following it and hoping for the best. We're going to see progress, but we'll see it still continuously if we haven't built the foundation, because we have minimal direction. If we have no direction, we have no idea where we're going. Our body doesn't know what it's up to. But if we get this right, we're going to continue to progress daily, weekly, yearly, and forever. We never have to change. We never have to stop getting progress. It never stalls. Our body has its limits, but we never have to stop seeing progress. We will know what's exactly working, and what's not. We'll know what we can change. Most of all, we're going to have 110%, 100% more than that, definitely full direction on where we're going. We'll know exactly what to do. So let's get down to some common myths to bust. Myth number 1, women get bulky from lifting. This is going to be one of the biggest myths that I can see out there. Being toned is just a reduction of body fat, an increase in lean muscle mass. So to actually be toned, which a lot of people actually want, includes having to increase lean muscle mass just while reducing body fat. If we're just doing cardio to try to lose body fat, we get what we call skinny fat. So we lose that metabolically active tissue. If we stop doing cardio, then we stop getting results. This is why increasing lean muscle mass is very, very important to looking our best. Males have a lot more testosterone in them than females. If males do weight training, they're 9 times out of 10 going to get muscle a lot more quicker than what females do. So, females will find it very, very, very hard to actually get bulky. Yes, after a training session, if you've done some weights and you've done a little bit of muscle damage, you're going to get a little bit of water retention in that area, and the muscle's going to swell up a little bit and look a little bit bigger temporarily, but it will go down. Gaining lean muscle is necessary in regards to increasing metabolism and looking toned. Very, very important to increase lean muscle mass. You will not get bulky, I promise. Myth number 2, you can reduce fat in the stomach by doing stomach exercises. So this is another big common, myth that the media puts out there. So spot reduction is what we call it. It cannot be done. We can't burn fat from certain areas. But the incorporation of exercises that target multiple muscle groups, what we call compound exercises, such as, deadlifts, squats, and bench press, help to reduce this everywhere. So the more muscle that we actually use, the more fat we're going to lose everywhere. But if we're just doing sit-ups to try to lose fat within our stomach, we're going to go around in circles. Our body will genetically lose fat from where it wants to first. So this is all individual. Although there are a few tricks that you can do to speed up the progress, feel free to give me a message after this, just so we don't have to cover too much on this presentation. Feel free to flick me a message on Facebook. Myth number 3, carbs make you fat. What it comes down to, guys, is energy in versus energy out. It doesn't matter if our calories in come from all from protein or all from carbs or all from fat. What it comes down to is the total amount that we put in is what we get back out. So energy in versus energy out, which is, exercise and metabolism. We need carbs to fuel our workout. We can't, complete volume without carbohydrates. This gives us the ability to train a lot harder and actually make our metabolism higher and actually let us, eat more food. But what we can do is actually we can train the body to use carbs. We'll touch, a lot more about this later on. But one thing to note down, guys, is it all comes down to energy in versus energy out. Whatever fuel source that you want to use, the total amount is what gives us, the weight gain or the weight loss or the weight maintenance. It brings us to nutrition. So we can't grow our metabolism if we don't let it grow. We need to feed the muscles. We can't go on big calorie deficits and expect to get a lot more leaner. Yes, that may give us a real quick result by going real low calorie for a short period of time. But I don't know about you guys, but it will still. If you've tried this before, it'll still. It'll come back up again. The only way you can get leaner is by eating less. And if you start yourself at 800 calories and you still, then the only way to get lower is by, pretty much just drinking water. And that does not sound fun to me. We can't complete more volume if we don't fuel our workouts. We need volume to increase our metabolism, basically. We need a fuel source to do more volume. And muscles will not grow if we don't let them recover. And nutrition plays a massive part in recovery. We need proteins. We need carbohydrates to increase the glycogen within our muscles so we can train hard again the next day. We need fat to balance our hormonal profile. We need this for recovery. So basically what we need to know is that we've got 3 key energy systems. We won't get too in depth here again, but what's very important is that we have different energy sources that we use depending on the duration that we're going for. What we have is the first one, ATP PC, which is the first 10 seconds of maximal exercise. So I'm going to use a sprinting example to describe this. So just say we're starting in the starting blocks here, and we go for a 100-meter sprint all out as fast and as hard as we possibly can. We're going to predominantly be using this system here, ATP PC system, which lasts for roughly around about 10 seconds. After about 10 seconds, their fuel source is going to be gone. So this one here is going to be exhausted, and we tap into the next one. So if you can picture yourself sprinting for 100 meters and continue to keep going, you're going to have to slow down to keep it up. And that's when we tap down into the next energy system. So after 100 meters, we continuously keep going. We tap into this one, which is glycolysis, or the lactic acid energy system. So this one here allows us to keep going. This one here lasts for around about 10 seconds to 2 minutes. It's going to get us to around about the 800-meter mark. If we continuously keep running again, we're going to have to slow down because this one here is exhausted. And that's when we tap into the final one, which is the aerobic system. So from about 2 minutes plus, we're tapping into that one there, the aerobic system. The interesting thing to note down is that all three of them use different energy fuels. So this one here, the first 10 seconds of a 100-meter sprint, uses creatine as fuel mainly. So that's what this part here is, PC, phosphocreatine. They only last for about 10 seconds. So once the creatine is all gone, we tap into this one here, which is the lactic acid system, or glycolysis. And this one here uses carbohydrates as fuel. Once that's all depleted, then we tap into the oxidative part. This one here uses fats, carbohydrates, and proteins as fuel. That's where the concept on most treadmills that you might see, the fat burner zone, when you're running at a very low intensity, that's the fat burner zone right here. It doesn't mean that it burns body fat, it just means that it uses fats as fuel. So very important to note, the first 10 seconds we use creatine. The next part, up to about 2 minutes, we use carbohydrates as fuel. And then we tap into, fats, carbs, and proteins for fuel. So the ones that we want to work with, that's going to help us raise our metabolism higher and allow us to, complete more volume, is the first two. So creatine, ATP PC, which uses creatine as fuel, which is the first 10 seconds of max exercise, which comes down to like a 1 rep max squat, a 1 rep max deadlift, or a 1 rep max bench press, whatever it may be. If it's under 10 seconds and it's quite max effort or fast, we're going to be using creatine as fuel. This takes time to recover. So every time we do a max set or a very, very heavy set and we use creatine as fuel and we deplete it all, it takes around about 5 minutes for it to be fully replenished. This is why you'll see powerlifters in the gym and they're sitting down for a long period of the time just because they're resting. What they're actually doing is letting the creatine replenish itself so they can do another set with the same quality. The next one, the lactic acid system. Now it uses carbohydrates as fuel. That's our multiple rep zone. That's when we're doing like 10 reps or 20 reps of an exercise or going for some interval training on the treadmill. That's the lactic acid system. That's the one that uses carbohydrates as fuel. So whatever we use as fuel is what we teach our body to actually do. So if we're continuously having carbs to fuel our workout and doing high intensity training, doing some sets of 10 or 15 reps, we're going to teach our body to use these carbohydrates as fuel. So it means that we can actually eat more carbohydrates. So that's basically exactly what it means. Eat all the carbs, guys. This is going to let us do a lot more work in the side of the gym. It's going to let us complete more volume. It's going to let us have a more higher quality. And it's just going to let us do more and be more happier because we're actually getting carbs in our diet. But within reason, of course. Remember, guys, it comes down to energy in versus energy out. 1,600 calories of this is going to be the same as 1,600 calories of, good quality food. The only difference is the quantity. The better quality we have, the more we can eat. For what I would rather do is I'd rather have this part here. I'd rather eat more while getting the same energy intake opposed to eating less quality stuff and getting the same energy intake again. I'll get full from this, but, this one here I might not, necessarily get full from. The better quality we eat, the more energetic we'll be. So what energy in, energy out really comes down to is if we just focus on this part here, we'll get a similar result. But the only difference, that comes down to is energy. If we have this one here, our energy is going to be a lot lower. Our hunger is going to be higher. If we have this one here, our energy is going to be a lot higher and our hunger is going to be a lot lower. But our physique isn't going to be much different. And again, it comes down to the scales. What we see on the scales isn't necessarily the same. What we have here is two people, the same weight, but different body compositions. If we just focus on the scale, this is going a little bit off track now, guys, but if we just focus on the scale, we're going to go around in circles as well. Muscle weighs a lot more than fat. So if we have more lean muscle mass, our weight might go up, but we're going to look better. If we have less muscle mass and more fat, we're going to be on the side here. We're going to weigh the same, but have less muscle mass, and all our weight's going to be from fat. So the takeaway key is think of it as energy in versus energy out. Think about the quantity that you're putting in your mouth. Don't worry about what necessarily you're eating. Focus more on how much you're eating in regards to what you physically look like. Eat quality food. It's harder to eat. Like I do not know anyone that could eat a whole kg of broccoli compared to a kg of chocolate. It's so much easier to eat the fast food or the junk food or the sugary food. Eat quality food and think of it as energy in versus energy out. Step number 5, the final step, is recovery. We cannot let our muscles grow if we don't let it recover. What I've got down here is 5 key steps of recovery, 5 key things that I believe are, they're my favorite ways of recovery. There's a million ways out there that you can use for recovery. Sleep is one of the best ones. It's free. Flotation tank therapy, this bad boy here, I go to it every now and then and I find it amazing. If there's one around your area, chuck it in Google and I definitely recommend giving it a go. Massage can be awesome if you find a real good massage therapist. Days off are your best friend. They let your muscles recover. Hots and colds. There's awesome things out there that you can do. There's a lot of information on Google, and again, feel free to flick me a message about hot and colds. Another really, really cool way of recovery. But one of my favorite ones is sleep. Sleep is one of the best things that you can actually incorporate. And one of the best things is it's free. It doesn't cost anything. It just costs your time. So research actually, proves it. Sleep is suggested to be one of the most effective recovery strategies available to athletes. Research proves this, guys. It's one of the best ways of recovery, one of the most effective ways, and it's also free. So how can we improve it? Simple things. Stay away from artificial light an hour before bed. We want to jump off our phones, maybe read a book or do something relaxing an hour before bed, and we'll get a lot more quality sleep. Research shows, again, those who check Facebook just before they go to sleep have been shown to, on average, sleep an hour less each night than those who don't. So simple things, guys. Simple ways to improve it. Because one of the most, the ultimate reason behind recovery is this graph here, which is stress. So what we have here is a lot more blurry on here than it is on actually my screen, on the small screen. Sorry, guys. But what we have here is what's called the general adaptive syndrome. So this is one of the ways that has been explained to how we actually adapt to stress. So what I'm going to use is strength as an example. So this line right here, the horizontal line, is our current level of stress, our current level of strength, sorry. So what happens when we put a stressor on the body, say such as exercise, which is a stressor, is our strength goes temporarily down. This is called the alarm phase, number 1. So we put enough stress on the body, it's going to go down. And then this part here, number 2, is a resistance phase. This is when we're sleeping. This is when we're recovering or having days off. And that's when the stress is just enough for our body to recover and get stronger. And then we've got a new baseline of strength here. So this top line is now a new baseline of strength. Over the next period of time, we put just enough physical stress on our body to go down, and then we recover, and then we get another new line of strength, and this is how we keep on progressing, guys. We give our body just enough for it to recover. It's what we call super compensation, which is when we get stronger than before. So this, it comes with every bit of stress. If we do just enough in the gym, and we have a perfect plan, but we've got a real stressful day at work and we're not sleeping, that all counts this as well. So this goes down this part as well. And this is what we call overtraining. So overtraining doesn't actually have to come from training itself. It can come from under recovery. So this is where, like, modifying your week comes in. If you've had a stressful day at work, it's not the worst thing in the world to lower the workouts in the gym. So maybe you might come to here, but then the stress at work actually, ends up being here anyway. So you still adapt and recover and become your better self again. I know this is a little bit confusing, but feel free again to message me with any questions around about the general adaptive syndrome. So putting it all together, success lies at the top here. If we start with our foundation, one of the most important things that we can do, complete the exercises that we want to get, stronger in and get better at, and practice them. Have them in your routine every week, multiple times per week. You want to complete volume within the exercise or exercises. Make your muscles work. Increase the set each week. Increase a couple of reps each week. Don't do it by too much, though. Once you've put some volume in for a certain period of time, start increasing the weight. Start going a lot more heavier. Get stronger. Work in the lower rep range. Get stronger in your foundation. Rest. Sleep. Jump off Facebook an hour before you go to bed. Turn off your phone an hour before you go to bed and read a book. Get some good quality sleep. Try some flotation tank therapy. Try some hot colds. Get a massage. Invest in something that's going to help you recover a lot more. Nutrition. Put quality food in your mouth. Track your macros. Download a fitness food tracker, and there's one called MyFitnessPal, which is great, so you know exactly what you're putting in. Eat quality food. So the old way of doing things was going hard or going home. Extreme dieting. Aches and pains of doing too much, putting too much stress on your body and not allowing it to recover. Program hopping, program to program, trying to find the one that works. Yo-yo dieting, always trying something different, not letting your metabolism know where it's at. This is the old way of doing things. The new way of doing things is seeing progress every gym session. The new way is doing more work every week without even feeling like you are. So putting more stress on your body each week and your body doesn't even know it is. It's getting stronger and it's adapting more quicker. Training with a purpose, having a direction, eating without guilt, using carbs for fuel, eating the foods that you enjoy within your daily limit. One modifiable program that you know how to change and adapt over a long period of time so you never get bored. This is your program that you build your foundation in, you put your volume in, you get your intensity in, and you get your success back out of. This is the new way of doing things. So the proof is again in the pudding. What we have here is Sina, one of my real closest friends. She went from squatting 20 kg in the bar from pain to 100 kg plus pain-free. What she did is she focused on her foundation. She took a step back. She worked on her technique. She built some volume within that technique. She got stronger in that technique. Then she put some strength into it. She started increasing the weights, and that's where she got to 100 kg plus pain-free in a short period of time. So this is where the long way actually become the very, very, very short way. And then what we have here is me. So deadlifting 270 kg plus. I didn't just chuck that on the bar one day and go for it. I had to build up. I had to build a foundation. I worked on technique for a long period of time. I put some volume within that technique. And I chucked some weight on that volume and built some strength within that technique. So the way my deadlift looked here was the same that it looked at the start, from the foundation. I went from looking for quick fixes to long-term success. The long way is the short way, guys. One of the last times I'll tell you is. So today I promised everything. So what I have is I have a program that addresses everything from the foundation to the end result. So I have a program that will give you the ultimate body and ultimate strength. We cover everything from weekly lessons. I'll let you guys know exactly why you're doing everything. We make science practical and valuable. We give you purpose and direction. Structured, flexible programming. By the end of this course, you'll be fully confident in programming yourself and others. Most of all, you'll have access to me. I'll be there fully along the whole way, letting you guys know exactly what to do, why you're doing it, questions and answers, anything you guys need. I'll be there the whole way. Much more priceless components, from technique demonstrations to learning how to structure your nutrition. This is all included in this program, guys. So what I want to do is give this to you guys for a discounted price, because I know you guys have actually taken the time to watch this webinar, taken a lot of information in, and I know a lot of you guys will actually be eager to get started. So since you have watched this presentation, I want to give you all the opportunity to get all this content for the small investment of $297. This program normally goes for $497, but what I want is to give this price to you for a discounted price for watching this presentation as a big thank you. So who is this program for? This is for those who are serious about making a change. This is for those who value their progress. They want to see long-term results. They want to have direction and purpose within their training. They want to know where to go. Who is this program not for? Please do not purchase this program if you're just looking for the quick fix. Remember, the short way is the long way, guys. The long way is going to be the short way of getting you there. If you do not value your progress, please do not buy this program. This is not for you. If you're not committed to taking a big step back and doing some initial hard work, then this program is also not for you as well. If you're looking for a result within a week, then please do not purchase this program. So what can you expect? Just some of the things is an 8-week curriculum that's going to help make you an expert within your training. So I want to give you guys everything that I've learned within my 5 years plus of study at university into an 8-week curriculum of all the practical uses that I've done. I want to give you guys an 8-week modifiable program. So I want to show you how to actually build from this program and make it last longer than 8 weeks, show you how you can build off it and make that program last you years and years and years through finding your baseline. You'll learn how to find your baseline through nutrition and volume. And you'll have access to questions within our private Facebook group. This is where I'll be answering everyone, helping everyone out, plus many more, much more benefits from this program, guys. So now you have a choice. You can continue doing what you're doing. If you're currently happy, that's no issue at all. If you're currently happy, I urge you to keep doing what you're doing. But if you're looking to build foundation and continue to see success forever, then this is the choice that you have. You can start to build your foundation from today, whether you purchase the program or not. Take a step back and work on the technique, put some volume in your exercise, put a bit of intensity in there, focus on sleeping and recovery and getting a massage every now and then and putting some good food in, and you'll see results forever. So click the link below if you want to take advantage of this special offer. But most of all, I want to thank you all for watching this presentation. Okay. I'll see you guys later. Thank you.